I'm going to wait for everybody to kind of gather this way. This is not intimidating at all. All right, perfect. I'm going to hand the microphone over to our wonderful K-pop Demon Hunters directors, Maggie Kang and Chris Appelhans.
Hi, everyone. So many familiar faces. Oh, then we're going to do this. Well, thank you for joining us. This has been quite a journey. We had no idea that this movie would become the most watched movie in Netflix history. As if that wasn't impressive enough, our music team, our stellar music team, has produced 5 Grammy nominations. And today we have EJAE and Mark here to give you a little sneak peek behind how the music was made.
We threw so much crazy shit at those two. Google Docs that were like 5 pages long with all this story and scene and character things we wanted to do in the songs. The weirdest mashup of references from HOT to Bill Withers to Imogen Heap to BTS. And somehow they absorbed all that stuff and turned around with beautiful, amazing songs that work in the movie and they work outside the movie. And we're just so grateful. So we'll shut up and let them come up here and show you guys how the magic happens. So, thanks for coming.
We can see all right? Thank you all so much for coming. And also thank you, first of all, to Netflix for putting this gorgeous room together. I mean, we're like in our own theme bar tonight. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, I love it. It feels a lot more intimate, which I love.
And Maggie and Chris, obviously the directors behind everything that you see, including these songs,
yes.
None of which would exist without their vision.
Yeah, absolutely. Like all the songs were not just us thinking of incredible concepts and stuff. It was truly the guidance of the directors telling us exactly what they needed. They were it had to be detailed, as you heard, like pages of notes and a bunch of meetings with them. And just, yeah, it was very strategic and specific and incredibly collaborative.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, you've been a part of the project so much longer than I have, and kind of the building of the music from the beginning. What was that sort of like to be having those initial conversations when there was just kind of an idea and a little bit of story at the beginning?
I think it was, I started on the project, I think around 2020. I think, yes. It's like pretty early on, 2020, 2021 or something. And I remember when I first heard about it, that it's gonna be first like kind of big budgeted Korean-based animated film. I love animation. If someone asked me what my favorite movie was, or is Lilo and Stitch. Thank you.
Hey guys, we're gonna have to back up. So I need this.
Thank you. Seriously, my
Ma'am,
favorite.
no, we're not, ma'am. We gotta go back this way.
So I think
Ma'am, please.
I was so excited.
Ma'am,
Like,
can you
what?
please back up?
South Korea? That's like my dream. So I was like absolutely gonna be a part of this. And so yeah, I jumped on and we were kind of creating the blueprint of like what Maggie and Chris was envisioning sonically, and we tried our best to just bring it to life. And some of it's still kind of in some of the songs you hear today, like how it's done. And that's kind of how it started, I think, trying to find what Rumi's demon voice sounds like. And it was a lot of experimentation and stuff, so it was really fun.
And how much existed of the story then, when you were first coming on?
It was like the main scene, so like the intro scene, which is the main scene, which we always knew about. And then the duet scene was one of them, the mantras was one of them. And I think also like the boy band soda pop scene was one of them too. Yeah, I think those are like the main ones.
Yeah.
and like the I Want song too, which is currently golden. But
Eventually.
many years to get there. But yeah, I think that's kind of how it was. But around 2022, 23, was it 23?
2023, I think.
Yeah, that's like when, you know,
I'll
we
take the
really
box.
got a lot busier.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
Ian Eisendrath came into the picture, Black Label, you know, Jenny Andrews, and this gift over here, Mark Sonnenblick. Round of applause. Yeah, Kim changed the game to like incredible co-writer here, and I love working with you. Love and love.
EJAE, oh my gosh, you didn't even plan this. This is so perfect.
Yeah, it's like the first time we met was Zoom session. I remember Ian's like, this is Mark. He's gonna also help you with like, cause you're in theater, like help with story building, story writing, and the lyrics and all that. So that was important. That's what we needed. And I remember I was like, oh cool, like Mark's in New York. I'm like, oh where? And you're like Brooklyn. Oh me too. Where? You're like Bed-Stuy. Oh, I shouldn't say it.
It's big enough, it's big enough.
Okay, like neighborhoods, guys. Okay, don't stop him. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But like we're like the same like near neighbors, and yeah, we're like, wait, we're so close. Let me just go on over now. And I literally just went over, took an Uber, and we just started writing.
Yeah.
Right away.
Kind of an amazing, because part of what's interesting with every project is you're getting to know the collaborators on that, whether it's like one song, or in this case, you know, you're writing so many songs, but also coming into the world that Maggie, Chris, and Michelle, who's also here tonight, an amazing producer. Shout out to Michelle.
Killed it.
Yeah, because you're trying to get on board with their vision, but also how does everybody work and what's everybody's rhythm? And it's just like pretty immediately was nice to be like, oh, you guys coming over right now?
Yeah,
And,
we're
okay.
doing it now.
All right, and we're opening up our home to a kind of a strange, and it was amazing, and
We hit it off. Like,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
You guys hear me still?
Yeah, come through. Right. If you can't hear, just yell something or whatever.
But yeah, that's kind of how it started. I think it started with the intro, right?
And the intro, yeah, because when I came on, I was just immediately, I think there was maybe like 30 or 40 minutes of sort of storyboard with a bunch of music that you had written, some songs and then some, that beautiful kind of story that ended up in the movie in different ways.
Yes.
But I was so moved immediately just by the story. And I like came in knowing almost nothing about K-pop. And I just sort of on the most basic level.
Yeah.
But somebody who is being taught that killing demons is not only your purpose, but what the stakes of the world rest on.
Mm-hmm.
And then that character to also be half demon was so moved by that and the story that Maggie and Chris wanted to tell. That's kind of always my entry point to any project.
Yeah.
And I was already like tearing up just kind of seeing how that was laid out.
Yeah.
And part of the beauty, I think, of going through, I mean, I was only there kind of for the final 2 years, but is how do you translate something that hadn't really been done, at least I hadn't experienced a collaboration quite like this before.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, where it's like the story is there, but there's also, we're working with Black Label,
Yeah.
we're working with a bunch of different writers
Yes.
and producers,
Mhm.
and in an amazing way,
Yeah.
you and like your voice at the
Mhm.
center of this music in such a beautiful,
Yeah.
powerful.
I mean, this was a hard movie. Y'all, it was so hard. Right, Maggie, Chris, Michelle. But it was a really hard movie because it was really never been done before. Like every time we're talking, like, what do we reference? Like, there's nothing to really reference, you know. And a lot of movies that the songs that we're trying to create are like pop songs, but they're oftentimes sync songs, you know. They're not part of the storyline, and the songs that are more storyline based are very musical.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like either musical theater
Exactly.
or you have exactly like something where you have pop writers write the
Exactly.
songs, but it's like not necessarily it's telling every minute of the story.
Exactly. So the hybrid of what's our favorite new word I learned? Diegetic, non-diegetic.
Yeah, diegetic.
You know, meaning like,
Yeah.
meaning, do you guys know? Yeah, I'm sure you guys do, right? Yeah, so like, I learned it for the first time, really interesting. But that was really cool, and also just, And I think it was just, you know, you and I kind of, again, thank God you're the nicest person I know, because we would be fighting. But like, it was just constantly policing each other of like, hey, like, EJ, let's get back to the story, because I'm talking about really cool bars and really cool pop lines and, you know, simplicity, because it's pop music and you're thinking about story. So if I'm writing a line, it's kind of general or something, you would be like, that's not really telling what Ruben wants to say. So he was very, which helped me a lot. Or you would kind of write a lot of words and I'd be like, oh no,
Yeah.
too many words. Let's simplify.
Well, I feel like Golden's a good example of that because so there had been a couple songs in the place of What Was There, but what was, I think, part of the reason that this became the track that ultimately is in the movie is Maggie and Chris and Michelle and Ian Eisendrath, who is really executive music producer, who is at the heart of kind of connecting all the music and story elements in such a deep way, and the only reason I'm on the movie to begin with. But I think they really cracked, this is the story of the girls, this is the story of Huntrix.
Yes.
And so then part of the thing is, how do you get the backstory of all three of these girls in like 8 lines
Exactly.
of this song?
Yes.
And so figuring out the melody that has
Yes.
enough syllables to do that
Exactly.
is that, and should we play, I feel like we want to play that like initial top line.
Yeah, let's do that.